Today, Claudia and I are celebrating 27 years of matrimony. To celebrate this event, I'm making a very special meal for her. It's an Italian dinner. I'm making lasagna and salad, and for dessert, tiramisu. And so, let's get started. One of the ingredients of my lasagna is a ragu sauce. A ragu sauce is a meat sauce with tomatoes. Today for our meat sauce, we're doing a pound of Italian sausage and a pound of ground beef, homemade canned tomatoes with some tomato paste, and some crushed tomatoes, and spices that include red pepper, peppercorns, fennel seed, oregano, parsley, dried basil. All of these are from my garden. The first thing we're going to do is brown my beef. I know you can't smell this, but that sausage smells really good. So now we're going to make a sofrito. Sofrito is a typical Italian sauteed vegetables that go into a lot of sauces. I'm going to have some celery, some carrots, and some onions. So we're going to be doing a lot of cutting and chopping today, so a sharp knife is essential. We're going to saute up this sofrito in some olive oil and whatever grease was left over from the meat. Add a little salt to help sweeten up the onions, brings out their juice. Peeling garlic. Of course, everybody hates peeling garlic, but here's a secret to making it just a little bit easier. Put the garlic in a wet paper towel Nuke it for 15 seconds. And the peels practically fall off. So I think my onions are pretty soft. I'm going to throw in that basil. Throw in that garlic. And some red pepper flakes. You gotta be careful with that stuff because it's hot. The garlic is becoming very aromatic. Let's add a little bit of red wine to this. And let that wine cook down. So this is thickened up pretty nice. So we're going to add it to the slow cooker. And to that, we're going to add our tomatoes. This is the last jar of my 2019 crop of tomatoes. So I should have added this tomato paste to the sofrito, but I forgot. So we'll just kind of cook this up until we get the rawness of the tomatoes out of it. So into the crock pot, everything else. We'll add a can of crushed tomatoes. We're gonna crush up these fennel seeds. And peppercorns to have them release their flavors. Still adding some tomatoes. These are diced tomatoes. So I'll kind of give that sauce some texture to it. Now the meat goes in. Looks good already. So we're going to let this cook on high for several hours until it all those flavors all kind of blend together. The next item on our Italian menu is dessert, the classic tiramisu. We're going to separate 6 eggs. I know I'm not doing it the chef's way of doing it, because what happens is I end up breaking the yolk, and that's what I don't want. That's why I use this. So we're going to cook the eggs over a double boiler. With some sugar. And we're going to whisk it until it's nice and smooth. To the zabaglione, I'm going to add some brandy.
Julian!
And we're going to let this cool for a while. So for the tiramisu, we're going to dunk the ladyfingers into a mixture of espresso coffee, sugar, and more rum. For the tiramisu, it's made with mascarpone cheese, into the mascarpone, add some heavy cream. Mixing the whipped cream into our zabaglione.
Good luck.
Yeah, right. Fold this until all the whipped cream is incorporated. And now for the fun part. I'm gonna dip our ladyfingers into this coffee mixture. But you have to do it fast because they tend to fall apart. Chef Gold, I'm not, but it looks nice. Cheese sauce is made of ricotta, Parmigiano Reggiano, some mozzarella, and some provolone. We have a ricotta, and then add an egg to that, And we're going to add some grated mozzarella. And we need some parsley. Goes into the mix. Add some pepper. And some salt. And mix that all together. Add a little bit of Parmesan to that. And there's our cheese sauce. And to our lasagna, we're going to add roasted mushrooms. So to our mushrooms, I'm going to add some olive oil. And some garlic and rosemary that's been chopped up. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Roast these for about 10 minutes in the same oven with garlic. Garlic's probably done. So now to make our pastas. I really like homemade pasta because it just has a different, fresher flavor. Our pasta I'm going to make with half all-purpose flour and a cup of whole wheat flour, and about a half a cup of semolina flour. The semolina flour gives it a nice bite to the pasta. Otherwise, it's a little on the soft side. A little bit of salt. So if you watch all the YouTube videos about how to make homemade pasta, it talks about putting it on a board, putting your flour, making it well, and then mixing the eggs, mixing it into the flour. Well, that's just a lot of work. I don't think I'm going to do that. What I have here is my flours, and I'm going to mix 4 eggs. And sometimes it needs water to, this looks awfully dry, so we'll put a little bit of water in there. Not too much because then it gets too wet. some recipes say to put oil on it, some say not. I like it with a little bit of oil, makes it soft. And all the instructional videos also talk about how long to knead it. Knead it by hand or knead it by machine. Some say just a couple minutes, some say 10 minutes. I don't know, so I'm going to go until it kind of forms a nice easy mass. Well, I think I kneaded it for about 4 or 5 minutes. So now we're going to let this hydrate and it rest in the refrigerator for about a half hour so that all that flour absorbs whatever water's in there. And we're ready to roll it out. So, about 30 minutes like that.
A few moments later.
So we stretch the dough out into a kind of a thin square. Run it through the rollers. You want to double it over a couple times. And that way we want to make it progressively thinner. And I can see my fingers through it, so that's probably thin enough. We don't know about that long, 'cause that's how long our dish is. Bake this at 350 degrees. So let's get our oven warmed up. Grease our casserole dish so things don't stick. We want lots of salt in our water. Just wait for this to come to a boil. Because this is fresh pasta, it cooks really fast. We don't need the 7, 10, 12 minutes it takes dried pasta to cook. And when they start to float to the top, they're pretty much done. Drop them into some ice water. Stop the cooking. Set them out to dry. Kind of want to pat them dry. Don't want to wipe them dry because you want all that starch that's on the surface. We'll uncover it and do it another 30 minutes and we're ready to eat. And there we have our Italian dinner celebrating our 27th wedding anniversary. Buen appetit!